So how did you meet Bugsy Siegel?
His wife, Esther Krakauer, was my best friend in school. She and I looked like twins. We were both tall and thin and real blonde hair. And she lived in the building next building to my Aunt Gussie, my mother's sister.
So you were named after her? Aunt Gussie?
No, we both had the same name. Because we were very, close in age. No, not close in age, but we were very close family. My mother had 4 sisters, with her was 5, and they all lived on the east side. And you didn't know, years ago when one lived on Suffolk Street, the other one moved to Willard Street. My grandma, Bobby, lived this way, we lived this way. There's 2 back windows looked at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually that's what Grandma did with me. Bobby did with me on South 9th Street. They moved into a building where I lived in Brooklyn. They moved to Brooklyn. Frida moved to Brooklyn. Blanche moved to Brooklyn. Everybody came to Brooklyn. Then they moved. My mother moved back. She wasn't happy there.
Yeah.
But and then we were very close. Yeah, we were a close family. We used to fight and do, a lot of things. But I was very close with my 2 brothers.
Yeah.
Sammy used to take me to the ball after the graduation. What did you call that?
The prom?
They didn't call it a prom. They called it something else. And he used to take me there. And my mother used to make me get dressed now. And I went to work when I was 13 years old. I worked for Reisman Baron Doll Company on Green Street in Manhattan for $12 a week, 5.5 days. Saturday afternoon, I came home with an envelope. You didn't get paid by check then. In the envelope, and my mother was waiting on the stoop with Mrs. Friedman because she had borrowed $5 from her.
Mm-hmm.
And I took out the envelope and I said, "Here, Mom, this is for you." I was 13.
Wow.
And then I went to work in a candy factory for Christmas week when I was 14. And they had the conveyor with belt that drug the candy from one end to the other. So when I saw that, Lucy,
yeah, I was going to say that.
I was sitting in your mother's house in Belmore on the couch watching that thing, and I fell right off the couch. That's what I did. We wore a cap, a thing.
So we interrupted your story about Bugsy Siegel.
Yeah.
What?
So Ann Krakauer and Bugsy Siegel.
Bugsy Siegel. So I knew Bugsy Siegel from Livingston Street. Livingston Street was a cross street, would you call it? No, the cross streets went across Livingston. Livingston Street was like University Drive.
Okay, yeah, it's a big.
And all the streets went, across streets. Esther Krakauer lived next door to my Aunt Gussie, and they were friendly, and we were friendly. And I went to school with her, like I said. And we were traffic monitors. We wore a midi blouse and a pleated skirt, and we carried a stick thing with a long stick, and we walked through the halls like stoppos. We were monitors. And we were very friendly. And then she started to go with Bugsy Siegel, and he was gorgeous, but crazy. Crazy. And then she got married to him.
Wow. Weren't you telling a story that you were sitting somewhere and somebody tried to ask you to dance, or how did that go?
When Milty came out of the army, and his friend Bandy. Did you know Bandy?
I didn't know Bandy, but I heard of him.
And so Grandpa was working, and so I knew a lot of people. I got them 2 dates, because I worked in a beauty parlor. I was a manicurist then. Look what I did. I was going to say, you don't remember one.
I remember when you gave manicures, though.
You do?
I don't know if I remember you doing it professionally, but you always had your tools.
I have the tool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was it?
You, the boys,
How
You
I-
introduced the women that you knew from.
Oh yeah. So I said I knew the people. There was a nice restaurant on Essex Street. So I said I'm going to take Milty and Bandy and get 2 girls from the beauty parlor for 2 dates. You know, for them too. So I did. And we went to this restaurant on Essex Street, and then I took them to a nightclub uptown that I had been to with friends, you know, and I got to know the guys that played in the band there. And the other thing, the manager, so I said, we'll go up there. I forget the name of the place, it was a popular place. And we went up, and people were standing on line, you know, with the red velvet, with the velvet ropes there, roped off. And I walked in, I spoke to the guy there, and I said, I got my kid brother and his friend, you know, he's come on in. So we walked in, so I hear somebody say, who the hell is she? You know,
Mm-hmm.
so we walked in, we sat down at the table. So they got up to dance, and I'm sitting there. So man from the next table, I was sitting alone, he wanted to come over and ask me to dance. But I wasn't interested. I was not doing anything, I was just taking them out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hear one guy say to me, hey, don't bother with her. Don't you see she's sitting there with Dutch Schulz?
With Dutch Schulz?
That's what he said. He thought Milty
Milty
was Dutch Schulz.
Dutch Schulz was a big Jewish mafia guy.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't go near her. Don't you see she's sitting there with Dutch Schulz? I swear by my life. And I was sitting right
Did
there.
Milty really look like Dutch Schulz?
Yeah, his face was like,
The
you know.
punched in nose?
Yeah.
Yeah, how did Milty get that? Did he have a broken nose?
No, I don't know.
It was, yeah.
But
He
he
did
was-
look like
he
he had a
was-
box